My daughter-in-law was pregnant, so I gave her 50,000 yuan to book a postpartum care center. Her mother, claiming to feeling sorry for her daughter, insisted on coming personally to take care of her. But my daughter-in-law, worried about her mother, asked me to give the money to her instead. I refused and insisted that if I have to pay, she would go to the care center. Who would have thought that because of this, she held a grudge against me for years? After I fell ill, she persuaded my son to send me back to my old hometown. There, amid overgrown weeds, I starved to death. Reborn, I quietly put my money away. Since you two are so concerned about each other, then I'll make sure you get exactly what you want. Mom, I'm pregnant. Sylvia, my daughter-in-law, sent the message again. Thinking back to my last moments, I felt as if all the blood in my body had frozen. In my previous life, worried about how hard pregnancy was for Sylvia, I was determined to be a modern kind of mother-in-law, one who wouldn't let the young suffer the hardships we the elders endured. So, as soon as I learned of her pregnancy, I immediately transferred 10,000 yuan for her to buy good food and properly nourish herself. In the following months, I found excuses to send her money every month, ensuring they wouldn't worry about lost income due to the pregnancy. Sylvia is from another town. Worried she wouldn't like my cooking or properly rest, I prepared to send her 50,000 yuan directly to pick a postpartum care center where she could receive the best care. We live in a county town, and even the better postpartum centers cost just over 10,000 yuan per month. I gave Sylvia 50,000 yuan to ease her financial burden and spend it freely. No pressure. I wanted her to know I wasn't the kind of mother-in-law who'd mistreat her just because she was pregnant. Unexpectedly, Sylvia immediately told her mother about this. That very night, her mother, who had never come to our home before, rushed back by overnight bus. Postpartum centers are all strangers who can care for you better than family. If you're worried about care, then I'll take care of her myself. I asked Sylvia what she thought, and she had no objections. Naturally, I wholeheartedly agreed. But I hadn't expected Sylvia's mother to have conditions. Since I'm coming to take care of my daughter personally, the 50,000 yuan you gave Sylvia should be handed over to me, and you'll also transfer me 5,000 yuan monthly for food expenses. Hearing this, I couldn't help but laugh in anger. This wasn't about caring for her daughter at all. This was about making money. Taking care of her for a month would earn 50,000 yuan, even more than a top-rated postpartum nurse. And she's not even a professional. What does she know about nutrition? She claimed to care deeply for her daughter and wanted to personally look after her. Was a joke. Coming just for the money, she wouldn't genuinely care for Sylvia. So I flatly refused and firmly booked a costly postpartum center for Sylvia. Thanks to my arrangements, Sylvia received the most professional care. After giving birth, she recovered quickly and returned to work. 3 months later, I stayed home to help with the baby. I believed I had treated Sylvia fairly and with a clear conscience, but I never imagined that on the day I was bedridden and helpless, my daughter-in-law, with a look of disdain, urged my son to drag me back to our old hometown. The old home had been deserted for years, overrun with weeds, eerie and desolate. They just abandoned me there, letting me fend for myself. I begged my son and daughter-in-law with tears, asking why. Sylvia was cold, a slight victorious smirk playing on her lips. You didn't take care of me during my confinement, so don't expect me to care for you. Now Henry is busy with work and can't look after you, so you're stuck here. This is all your own doing. After saying this, they left without looking back. Thinking of all this, I felt nothing but hatred. I once got soaked in the rain trying to hold an umbrella for Sylvia, but she snatched it away and laughed at me for getting wet, saying I deserved it. Now I pretended not to see Sylvia's messages and quietly exited the chat. Then, with a low sigh, I began to sort out my money. True kindness was met with ingratitude. This life, I won't put my hopes on anyone again. Counting it up, I'd saved nearly 1 million yuan over the years, adding my monthly pension of over 10,000 yuan. I can live comfortably all by myself. Why did I insist on taking care of my grandson? Why did I keep supporting those two ungrateful people? Keeping the money for myself. Traveling around sounds much better. When I can no longer move, I'll find a nursing home. Even if I get mistreated there, it won't matter. After all, I enjoyed life early on. A little hardship at the end is only fair. With these thoughts, I contacted my best friend. She divorced years ago and raised her son alone. She worked hard to raise him well, but he turned his back on her and sided with his father's family. Bitterly disappointed, she gave up on her son and now lives for herself, traveling freely and happily. When I told her I wanted to travel, she was surprised. What? Your son's unreliable too? Sort of. I've come to terms with it and want to live for myself now. The first 20 years of life were spent struggling for education. The next 30 were wasted in merit and work. I died tragically at 55 in my last life. I don't know how long I'll live this time, but I want to live for myself, that's for sure. Sylvia must have been anxious after not hearing from me for a long time because Henry called, sounding accusatory. Mom, why didn't you reply to Sylvia? She's pregnant. Oh, I was busy just now and didn't see it. Congratulations. Perhaps sensing the odd tone in my voice, Henry's tone softened a bit. Mom, what's wrong? Why aren't you excited at all? What's there to be excited about? It's not like I've never been pregnant. It's you who should be excited. You're going to be a father now, and you need to take responsibility for your family. You're the pillar of the household. Henry smiled awkwardly. Of course. By the way, Mom, why don't you reply to Sylvia and send her a red envelope to cheer her up? My son is such a considerate husband, and he always finds reasons for me to send his wife money. The two of them work together, constantly asking me for money. Oh, Mom, you don't have much left either. Didn't you say last month you wanted a computer? I just bought one for you. Hearing this, Henry sounded excited and dropped the matter of the red envelope, showering me with praise. You're the best mom in the world. I love you so much. I snorted coldly. Such fake affection. If they truly loved me, why did they believe Sylvia last life and leave me to die alone? Back then, I was afraid of conflicts between them, so I tried to mediate and support them financially to make their lives easier. After all, so few young people want to have children these days. My son is playful and irresponsible. If left to them, their life would be chaotic. I didn't even push them to get married in the first place. They decided everything themselves, from dating to marriage to having children, and just provided the money. So I have no obligation to pay the price for their choices. In the end, I still didn't send Sylvia a red envelope. The moment Sylvia got home, her face was stern. I pretended not to notice. She frowned at the dishes on the table. Mom, I don't want to eat this stuff. It's disgusting. Make me something else. I never wanted to be a wicked mother-in-law. But the ungrateful wretch who ruined me was right in front of me, just couldn't be kind to her. Cook for yourself if you want to eat. Sylvia was stunned, staring blankly at me for a long moment before awkwardly asking, Mom, what's wrong with you today? Are you upset? Nothing. With a sharp creak, the door swung open. Henry came home from work. You're back just in time. I have something to tell you. I finished the food on my plate, cleanly wiped my mouth, and said, I'm an old woman. It's not good for me to keep living with you all. After thinking it over, I've decided to move out. Let you two have your own life. A flash of delight crossed Sylvia's face. Henry, however, looked surprised. We're living fine. Why do you want to leave? Sylvia jabbed Henry hard in the stomach with her elbow, desperately giving him a look. Mom must have her reasons. Let's not stop her. Of course, I understood their thoughts clearly. My son wanted me around to share the housework. My daughter-in-law didn't want me disrupting their home, but hoped I'd keep paying. Seeing their selfish intentions, I curled my lips slightly. That very night, I packed my things and left. The next day, I set off on a trip with my best friend. Unexpectedly, barely 2 days after I left, both of them started calling me nonstop. Mom, Sylvia, and I are too busy at work. We don't even have time to cook after work. Sylvia's pregnant. Why don't you come over every evening and cook dinner for us? Mom, Henry said he misses your cooking. We're out all day at work. Just come over in the evening and cook. Make extras as well. Bring it to the company for lunch. They used each other as excuses, trying to trick me into doing their hard labor. I just took a photo and told them I was traveling. My daughter-in-law blew up with anger and immediately posted a passive-aggressive message on social media. Whose mother-in-law doesn't spend a cent during her pregnant daughter-in-law's time and yet goes traveling? I'm so miserable. Soon after, I got a phone call from my daughter-in-law's mother. I listened with a loud sigh as she said, Sylvia's pregnant and needs care. So why are you out playing? And people will look down on you. If you don't take care of her, I'll come myself. Don't say I embarrassed you. She threatened. I just laughed. If you want to take care of her, go ahead. I don't mind. I wasn't born to be a caregiver. In my previous life, their meals were never on time, so I suggested hiring a cook. With me paying, Sylvia immediately called her mother wanting her to earn that money, asking me to pay her mom 7,000 yuan a month. But a part-time cook costs only 2 or 3,000 yuan a month. Why should I waste money? Sylvia insisted she didn't trust a part-time cook and didn't want to waste money. So I had no choice but to move in with them and cook daily in different styles. They felt uncomfortable, and so did I. After all, who doesn't want their own space? I'm just old, not inhuman. Hearing this, my daughter-in-law's mother got angry. Fine, I'll go care for my daughter. I didn't expect anything from you anyway. She hung up. I stared at my phone, lost in thought. This mother-daughter drama, let's see how long they can keep it up. Sure enough, within a week, Henry started bombarding me with calls, begging me to come back. Mom, please come back quickly. Sylvia's mom is here and expenses are sky high. We have to give her 7,000 yuan a month and the groceries are extra. Sylvia's pregnant and needs nutrition. We spend 100 yuan a day just on groceries, not including other costs. Sylvia only earns 5 or 6,000 a month. Please come back and send her mom away. Feigning confusion, I replied, isn't Sylvia's mom here because she cares for Sylvia? Why does she charge more than a top nanny? After replying, I sent their messages to do not disturb and continued enjoying my time with my best friend. She suggested we start an account to document our retirement life. I didn't refuse. After retiring, having nothing to do made me feel empty inside. Our account didn't gain many followers and our videos received little attention, but we received plenty of encouragement from strangers. That night, I opened my phone. My son's messages had nearly flooded my inbox. I decided to call him directly. His desperation made me feel oddly pleased. The moment he picked up, it was a tirade. Mom, why did you take so long to answer? What's wrong? Please come back quickly. I really can't handle it. Sylvia's cooking is awful. Every day it's just boiled vegetables without a drop of oil. Henry complained bitterly when I was taking care of them, and I always tried to cook delicious meals. Monday was braised pork, Tuesday was seafood, breakfast, lunch, and dinner were all carefully balanced nutritionally. I told you to hire a part-time cook. You said you didn't trust outsiders. Sylvia wanted her mom to come at the time. So why are you still complaining now that she's here? Henry sighed on the other end, lowering his voice to grumble. She's comfortable, but I'm not used to her mom's cooking. Plus, she insists on paying her mother 7,000 yuan a month. I really can't take it. I smiled calmly and said, then why don't you pay her yourself? Besides, your mother-in-law cares about Sylvia so much. I'm sure she won't really take the money. Just find some excuse. Say you'll pay it all at once later. Do you think she'd really ask for it? I felt like a complete wicked mother-in-law, but I had no choice. Being a good mother-in-law in the last life and caring only for my daughter-in-law ended miserably. Some people are just born to suffer. I'm curious to see if Sylvia can still live so carefree without me footing the bill this time. Sure enough, Henry was selfish. As soon as his interests were involved, his love with Sylvia became shaky. When Sylvia called me crying, my best friend and I had already rented a small courtyard in a tourist town. With the 10-year lease, we planned to spend our retirement years together. When Sylvia called me, she stayed silent for a long while before speaking. On the screen, she looked worn out, her hair messy and dull, her face pale and lifeless. What's going on? Sylvia bit her lip and glanced away several times before speaking. Mom, when will you come back? I'm not coming back. I'm getting old now and I don't want to be a burden to you all. I found a nursing home to live in. You just take care of yourselves. No need to worry about me. Suddenly, someone snatched the phone away and a new face appeared on the screen. Sylvia's mother wore a stern expression, but her complexion looked rosy and radiant, much more attractive than when she was back home. Mother-in-law, I'm not saying this lightly, but from the very start of Sylvia's pregnancy, I've been the one taking care of her. Aren't you worried people will talk if you don't step up? I smiled and said, who would dare gossip about me? I paid for the marital home, didn't I? and the car for the young couple. That was me too. Besides, wasn't it Sylvia herself? Who said she couldn't get used to the food I cook and asked you to come take care of her? Sylvia's mother was left speechless and simply said, "My daughter is about to give birth too. I have no energy to care for Sylvia. I'm going back to look after my own grandchild." After saying that, she looked at me with a smug expression, as if expecting me to pay her to stay. "If you want to leave, I can't stop you. It wasn't me who asked you to come, nor the one telling you to go. It's your decision." With that, I hung up the video call. The moment the call ended, my eyelids started twitching uncontrollably. Sylvia is about to give birth. This fuss at such a time clearly has ulterior motives. Sure enough, Henry quickly told me the truth. Mom. Sylvia and her mother had a fight. Her mother got angry and went back home. Sylvia is about to give birth now. You need to think of a way. What was the argument about? It's about money again. And mother-in-law thinks the money we gave isn't enough. Isn't Henry's sister about to give birth too? They hired a nanny for a month and it cost 10,000 yuan. They want us to pay at least that much monthly or else she'll go back to care for her daughter-in-law. I found it ridiculous. Sylvia's hometown is rural. Not that I look down on rural areas, but where in the world would they find a nanny charging over 10,000 yang a month in today's job market? Even many nannies in the city barely make 5 or 6,000. This Sylvia is just scheming with her family to earn money from me. What can they do if it really doesn't work out? Let Sylvia quit her job. She only earns 5 or 6,000 a month anyway. Better to stay at home and save the trouble of hiring someone to take care of her. Plus, if she's at home, she can cook for you. Are you not the one who can't get used to your mother-in-law's cooking? Hearing my words, Henry hesitated but still asked stubbornly, "Aren't you coming back? Even if you don't come back, shouldn't you at least show some support?" I sighed deeply. It's not that I don't want to, but Sylvia's living expenses are just too high. I want to save some money for you. No matter how important the grandson is, you're more important than him. I have to leave you a way out because, after all, you carried me for 10 months. I don't care if others suffer. I just don't want you to. Suppressing my nausea, I said this with all seriousness. Henry finally fell silent and quietly hung up. Men are naturally selfish. No matter how much they love someone, once their interests are touched, everything changes. Money solves everything. In my past life, I spent money and effort quietly smoothing over many conflicts between them. The couple seemed harmonious, their minds focused only on extracting money from me, united and dealing with me now. No wonder many don't want to see younger couples get along. Sylvia couldn't take it and resigned after quitting. She was full of resentment, constantly posting articles on social media about poisonous mothers-in-law that giving birth isn't the real favor. The real favor is support. In my past life, my support only raised to ungrateful brats. So it all depends on the person. Every day, I also post on social media highlighting how much I've given the young couple. House and car, bought nursing home, arranged insurance, set up firmly not spending a penny of my son's money, not holding him back in any way. Is that not support? Do I have to drain the previous generation? Try to be considered supportive? What about what her parents gave her? Her parents couldn't give her anything. Yet she wants thousands from me. When Sylvia gave birth, I was still soft-hearted and hired a cooking helper for them. That was the last bit of kindness I, as a fellow woman, could offer her. From now on, her life will have nothing to do with me. Since I withdrew from their lives, all their problems have surfaced. Sylvia's family treats her poorly, but she keeps running back, always wanting to buy this and that for her family, thinking they can't do without her. Without my financial support, Sylvia's salary isn't much and most of it goes to her parents. When Sylvia wants to buy something, she has to ask Henry for money. But my son has never been one to save money for others. As a child, if he wanted something to eat, he had to get it. In college, if he liked something, he just asked us for money. Even after starting work, his salary was basically all spent each month. And now, this seemingly sweet couple fights bitterly over money. You have a salary? Why are you asking me for money? I don't have enough for myself. I gave birth to your family's child. Why can't I spend your money? Maybe because I softened and hired the cook. Sylvia thought she had me under control. She snatched the phone and mocked, "Don't think a little favor like this will buy me off. From pregnancy to birth, you didn't lift a finger. I won't let the child call you grandma. After that, she threw the phone away, but I could still hear her voice from the receiver. This child will take my surname. Your family hasn't contributed anything. Don't even think about getting a free ride, I laughed in disbelief, ashamed of my own softness. Right then, I called the cook and told her to leave. If she's going to be this tough, let her fend for herself. As for the child, what surname it takes is none of my concern. Either way, it won't be mine. Sylvia was stunned. The cook wanted to leave, but she clung to her. My wages are paid by your mother-in-law. Now that she's not paying, I have to leave. If you want me to stay, you need to sign a new contract for 5,000 yuan a month, just for cooking. In the end, the cook left. She told me Sylvia wanted her to stay, but after all these years, they don't have a single yuan saved. Henry's salary won't come until next month. Right now, they only have 1,000 yuan in hand. The money had to support two adults and a child. The days ahead were bound to be difficult. From then on, they took turns calling every day, crying about how hard life was. After several days of this, seeing my indifference, Henry simply gave up. To escape his family responsibilities, he threw himself into work. Their company provided meals, though they were unappetizing and lacked nutrition, so he usually skipped them. Now, with no money, he ate all 3 meals. At the company, it was better to be a man. Escaping was always possible, but once a woman was tied to a child, struggling free felt like shedding a layer of skin. Sylvia stayed home alone during the day, caring for the baby, and at night, when she tried to confide in Henry, he would just fall asleep. So she began coming to me daily, crying at first. But gradually, her tears turned into curses. Throughout the entire confinement month, she never found peace. When the baby's full month celebration came, I still managed to take a trip back. Sylvia hadn't gained any postpartum weight. She had lost a lot of weight. Looking even thinner than before pregnancy, her whole being seemed almost 20 years older. Dark circles hung under her eyes. She held the baby with a vacant gaze. Henry, on the other hand, greeted relatives and friends with a beaming face. Seeing this scene, I felt a pang of sorrow. Taking revenge on a woman was easy, but on a man it seemed infinitely harder. Henry appeared even more spirited than before. I heard he had been promoted at work. I walked over to my grandson with a heavy heart. He no longer looked as chubby as in the previous life. His expression was dull, and he never smiled. Feeling a pang of tenderness, I reached out to hold him, but Sylvia pushed me away. Don't touch my son. Her eyes burned with a sense of justice finally served. My son's name is Ethan. I want him to know who truly cares for him and who has truly done him good. Not just anyone can call themselves his grandmother. After saying this, she turned to leave, clutching the baby, but her peripheral vision caught sight of the large gold lock I took from my bag, and her body involuntarily froze. Her expression instantly grew awkward. Mom, if you're here, why did you buy such a big gold block for the baby? Sylvia smiled awkwardly, reaching out but hesitated. I couldn't help but curl my lips slightly. The gold lock was something I had prayed for at the temple. Only the outer layer was real gold. The inside was gold dust. Its main purpose was to symbolize protection. Though it had cost over 1,000, the real red envelope hadn't even been taken out yet. Now it seemed unnecessary. If that's the case, I'll leave then. I only came to check in and see that you're doing okay, so I glanced around. Sylvia's relatives from her family had arrived, but they all ate their snacks quietly, not gathering around her. Not a single person seemed to care that today was just her first day out of confinement. Just as I turned, Sylvia was quick to stop me, swiftly shoving the baby into my arms and snatching the bag from my hand. Since you're here, then take a good look at the child. She quickly found the gold lot and clasped it onto the baby's neck. Fearing I might change my mind, she grabbed the baby and rushed over to her mother, placing the child into her arms. And only then did she show me a friendlier face. Since you're back, we forgive you. I'll be looking for work soon, and the baby will be with you during the day. You can watch him at your place. When we get off work, we'll bring the baby over here. We'll play with him a while, and when he falls asleep, you can take him back so you don't disturb our rest. I'm really exhausted right now. She started organizing everything herself, unable to stop blaming me again. Sorry, Sylvia. I twisted my back recently and am still undergoing treatment. I came today especially to see the baby, but soon I have to go back to the hospital. I can't help but take care of the baby. You should let your mother take care of you. She understands you better than I do. Then you pay, she said. My mom can't watch your grandson for free. Sylvia was blunt and loud enough to attract everyone's attention. I frowned deeply. This is your child. Why should I pay? He's your grandson. If you don't contribute, don't expect us to recognize you. Don't even think about us supporting you in old age. A daughter-in-law has no obligation to support her mother-in-law. You're unkind to me, so don't blame me for being unkind to you. I sneered. Last life, I was kind enough to them, wasn't I? But the moment I got sick, they eagerly abandoned and me to rot in the countryside. Meanwhile, her own mother, who had ignored them, got cared for every minor headache. Why? Why on earth am I supposed to die just because I'm a mother-in-law? Did I force them to marry? Did I force them to have a child? Wasn't all of it their own choice? Why does it seem as if it was all for me? What did I ever get? When I were young, I had no choice. Without marriage, I didn't even have a place to live. In that era, when you needed introduction letters just to go out, striving for independence was a struggle beyond imagination. But now, even if Sylvia ever marries and have children, she can live a carefree life. They made their own choices, so why must I pay the price? Unkind to you. How exactly was I unkind? You two wanted to marry. I bought your wedding house and put both your names on the deed. You wanted a car, so I bought it outright. Where have I wronged you as a mother-in-law? I've done more than enough. I shouted angrily, as if venting all my bottled-up rage from the past life. That's just what you should do. Which mother-in-law doesn't? What right do you have to feel wronged? Supporting us was always your responsibility. Fine. Having fulfilled my responsibility, then let me ask you, did your mother buy a wedding house and car for your brother and his wife? Were your sister-in-law's names on the deeds? They work hard, but they save too. They'll have to take out loans in a few years. Sylvia's confidence faltered. Did they put your sister-in-law's name on them? The down payments were from my parents. Why would they put my sister-in-law's name? She's an outsider. It doesn't concern her. After saying this, she realized her mistake and glanced at me awkwardly before angrily snapping. That's different. Yes, it is different. I was just too good to you, so you took advantage of the house with your name added. I'll sue to take it back. After all, it's my property. How can I give it to an outsider? Sylvia was utterly dumbfounded. Her mouth hung open, speechless. At that moment, the baby's wailing pierced the air and she hurried away. Somehow, the child had left Sylvia's mother's arms and was now being held by an unfamiliar relative. Crying bitterly, Sylvia rushed over, her face turning pale before she could even feel sorry. My baby's gold lock. Where is it? Who took it? The relative holding the baby quickly waved her hands. I don't know. Someone just slipped it into my hand. You're definitely the one who took it. That gold lock weighs at least 40 grams. Hand it over now. The relative looked irritated. I told you I didn't take it. If you don't believe me, check the security footage. So many people have held the baby. Why blame me? The commotion made everyone lose their appetite, and many left after giving red envelopes. No, you can't leave. Give back the gold lock before you go. But no one paid attention to her. Only after her angry threats to call the police did everyone reluctantly stay. Sylvia's mother hurried over to scold her. What's wrong with you? On such a happy day, why stir up trouble? These are family people we'll have to live with. The guests were mostly from Sylvia's side of the family. I hadn't even informed my relatives, and Henry didn't care about such matters at all. Sylvia refused to give up. That gold lock weighs at least 40 grams. At today's gold price, it's worth at least 300 yuan. How can we just let this go? Tears welled up uncontrollably. No matter how Sylvia's mother tried to reason with her, she couldn't calm her down. Eventually, her mother signed her eyes turned cold. I think you're out of your mind. What's more important than today's banquet? You insist on making everyone unhappy? Fine, then we're leaving too. We won't embarrass ourselves. With that, she pulled her son and daughter-in-law toward the exit, speaking as she went. This child lost her mind after giving birth. Don't listen to her. We can't eat here today. Let's all disperse. Next time I'll make Sylvia apologize properly. The guests scattered almost instantly. Only Henry's friend patted his shoulder meaningfully. When most had left, I was about to leave too. Sylvia, clutching at a lifeline, stopped me. Mom, the baby's gold lock is gone. Maybe you could buy another one. If you don't have time, just transfer the money to me. I'll buy it myself. She looked at me, full of hope. You really are clueless. The item's missing and you don't call the police? Yeah, you want me to replace it? I think your mother probably took it. If you don't believe me, call the cops now. The lock will definitely be found. Sylvia frowned. Henry grew angry at once. What then? Hurry up and call the police. You know your mom's character. The baby's wearing such an expensive lock. How could you let her hold him? Without hesitation, Henry unlocked his phone but was stopped by Sylvia. Forget it. It's a happy day. Don't ruin it. It's just a few tens of thousands and we've already received plenty gifts. Let's just drop it. If it was my mom, she'd be embarrassed too. I'll find a chance to ask them later. Sylvia gripped Henry's hand tightly, afraid he would call the police. Henry finally relented. You better find a way to get that lock back. I will. If it was my mom, I'll definitely get it back. She triumphantly waved the red envelopes they had received today. Let's hurry home and count the money. With cash on the way, they cared little about anything else as they left. The moment I left the banquet, I went to find a lawyer preparing to reclaim the house I had fully paid for on their behalf. Unexpectedly, before the lawyer's letter even arrived, Sylvia came knocking at my door to berate me for buying fake gold. Today, I'll let everyone see who you really are. She stood at my door, shouting at the top of her lungs. She called me heartless, cruel. I simply asked, wasn't the gold lock stolen on the day of the full-month banquet? Did you find it? Who stole it? Did you report it? Sylvia was speechless for a moment. Her face flushed red and her speech became clumsy. You. You don't need to care who stole it. The gold was fake anyway. Henry arrived then, looking disappointed as he stared at me. Mom, I really didn't expect you to be like this. If the gold was stolen, who knows if it was switched? You should have first found the thief and held them accountable. The neighbors, watching the drama, nodded in agreement. Henry caught on. Yeah, honey, let's find the person who sold the gold to us and make them pay. Report them to the police and put them in jail. Sylvia stammered, refusing to say a word. Henry understood everything. It was your mom who took it, wasn't it? She must have swapped it. Call the cops. I'm calling the cops. Sylvia, eyes red, held him back desperately. No, that's my mom. We can't call the police. Absolutely not. Forget it. Let's just drop it. I don't blame your mom, so you shouldn't blame mine. Not blame me? What did I do that you want to blame me for? Sylvia looked at me impatiently, convinced I was the cause of all this. If you'd given my mom money to take care of me, would she have been short on cash and needed to steal the gold lock? It's all your fault. If you'd just taken care of us and given us money properly, none of this would have happened. From now on, I won't acknowledge you as my mother-in-law. With that, she ran off crying. Fine. Don't acknowledge me if you want. I looked at Henry for this son I'd poured all my heart into. My feelings were conflicted beyond words. Cut ties, stop sending him money, or just let him die. None of these choices seemed to ease the hatred in my heart. I only hoped his child in the future would treat him as he did me in the last life. Ignoring me, leaving me to fend for myself, I sold my small house and began the process to reclaim the house I had bought for Henry. Unexpectedly at this time, Henry and Sylvia began the process of divorce. Sylvia couldn't find anyone to watch the baby, so she had to take care of him herself. Without a job, she had no choice but to ask for money. While I gave money, Henry and Sylvia spent their days talking romantically. Now daily life was filled with trivial chores and their relationship completely collapsed, even leading to physical fights. Finally, with Sylvia's family's involvement, they chose to divorce. Sylvia originally didn't want to have a child, but when her mother promised to take care of the baby and reminded her that having a child meant they could still claim child support plus future inheritance would belong to them, Sylvia wavered. In the end, they agreed. The child would belong to Sylvia, the house to Henry, but Henry would pay Sylvia $7,000 monthly as compensation for the house and child support. They wanted to avoid any financial worries caused by the pregnancy affecting their incomes. But the two didn't expect that. Just after their divorce, my lawyer would file to reclaim the house and the car. In the end, they got nothing. I quickly sold the house and settled permanently in a small southern town with my close friend. Later, I heard that the two fought every month in court over custody of the child. Since the house wasn't theirs, the original 7,000 yuan compensation vanished naturally and child support was reduced to 3,000. Sylvia's mother was unhappy and constantly egged Sylvia on to demand more support money. Meanwhile, Henry's industry was in decline and his work suffered daily setbacks. Eventually, he was laid off and couldn't even afford the 3,000 yuan in support. They kept tossing the child back and forth. One day, dropping the child off at my place. The next day, I'd send the child back to yours. They had become complete enemies. Knowing how ugly their disputes were, neither found a new partner after separating. They just dragged it out. When I was 70, my body was still strong enough to hike from time to time. Unfortunately, my son and daughter-in-law, after years of constant fighting, both suffered strokes before turning 50. Their child, seeing this, took them to a rundown rural house, left a sack of rice, and then left. For years, the two tormented each other in that countryside home, so hungry they even fought over dirt to eat until they finally starved to death.